It's 10:10 p.m. The autumn wind rattles the windows of an isolated farmhouse. Suddenly, your phone buzzes with a notification, an image of you sleeping, taken just seconds ago. But your heart stops, because you're wide awake. A chill runs down your spine as the wind outside grows louder, almost as if it's carrying whispers. You rush to lock the doors, but when you check the front door, the lock is already broken. Footsteps echo from upstairs, slow, deliberate, and heavy. You know for a fact there's no one else in the house. The screen of your phone lights up again, and this time it's a video. Shaking, you hit play. The feed shows a figure standing right behind you, just out of frame. You turn quickly, but there's nothing there. The room feels colder now, and the faint sound of breathing fills the air. This is the night everything changes. My name is Swell Pry. I visited my grandmother's old farmhouse sometime in 2002. It was to be a time away from my seemingly busy life. Little did I know that November will stay with me for the rest of my life. As I look at the photo that was sent to my phone, I freeze. My heart starts racing as I stare at the glowing screen. I'm sitting up in bed, my hands trembling as I swipe at the notification. But there's nothing else, just the image. I rub my eyes, trying to shake off the weird sensation creeping up my spine. I know I shouldn't be here, alone in this old farmhouse. I came out here to clear my mind, hoping the quiet would help me sleep, but instead, it feels wrong. The house creaks like it's alive. The shadows feel deeper tonight, as though they're moving. It's cold. The air has that musty smell, thick with dust and decay. A sharp contrast to the warm smell of the kitchen earlier, when I'd tried to make myself a simple meal. But there's something else, something that feels almost too heavy to breathe in. I glance around the room. This farmhouse has been in my family for generations. Built in the 1800s, my grandparents used to tell me stories about the house. They were always so casual about it, like it was just another part of the world. But my grandmother had a warning. She always told me to never stay here alone, not after dark. Sometimes the house remembers, she'd say, as though she knew something I didn't. But I didn't believe her. It's just an old house, right? Nothing to worry about. But now, sitting here in the dead of night, those words hang over me. They echo louder than the wind that's howling outside. The images of old photographs on the walls start to feel like they're staring at me, the flicker of the phone screen making everything seem off. I rub the back of my neck, trying to shake the tension building there. I reach for the old grandfather clock in the corner, hoping maybe the ticking will give me some comfort. But when I get close, something feels wrong. The clock isn't ticking. The hands aren't moving. It was ticking earlier when I came in, but now, nothing. It's completely still. A cold shiver runs down my spine. I don't want to touch it, but I can't tear my eyes away from the empty clock face. The silence is so thick now, like it's pressing in on me. Suddenly, my phone buzzes again, dragging me back to reality. This time, it's a message. Why are you awake? I'm already here. My stomach drops, my fingers hover over the screen, but I don't know what to do. I check the time. It's 11:52 p.m., but nothing's changed. I still haven't moved. The room still feels just as cold, and the silence is suffocating. I glance around, eyes darting to the door, to the window, to the shadows creeping across the walls. Then, I heard it. A loud bang from downstairs. I almost dropped my phone. My heart skips a beat. What was that? I can't tell if it's just the house settling, but I've never heard it sound like that before. The sound lingers in the air, echoing in my chest. making it impossible to ignore. I have to check. I don't know why, but I just have to. I stand up, trying to steady my shaking legs, and step toward the door. But when I reach for the knob, I freeze. It's slightly open. I know I closed it. I locked it when I came in. I know I did. Then my phone buzzes again. I don't even want to look, but I can't stop myself. A new image appears. My face, but not quite right. It's distorted, the edges blurred. And behind me, there's something standing there. A figure, barely visible in the dark, but its eyes are glowing. I spin around, my breath catching in my throat. But the room is empty. I blink, hoping it's just a trick of the light. But it's not. It's real. My phone buzzes again. Leave now or stay forever. I feel my throat close up. I step back, looking toward the stairs. I can hear something moving in the hall. Something slow, deliberate. The floorboards creak, echoing in the silent house. I swallow hard. I don't know what's worse. The fear that's tightening my chest, or the curiosity gnawing at me. Then, a sudden crash. A door slams shut downstairs. I don't know what to do, run or stay. But I don't have much time to decide. Something's moving downstairs. The house is alive, like it's trying to warn me. I turn toward the door. It's wide open. I didn't open it. I know I didn't. And then in the distance, just outside the threshold, I see it. A shadow. It stands perfectly still, just beyond the porch light, staring back at me. I can't move. My breath comes out in ragged gasps. A soft whisper drifts through the open door. Come outside. I want to scream, but nothing comes out. I want to run, but my legs won't move. Then, just as I think I'm about to burst with panic, I hear footsteps behind me. Slow, measured. I feel the cold breath on the back of my neck. I spin around, but no one's there. The house is silent again, but the door is still open. And that's when I realize I'm not alone. I stand frozen at the top of the stairs, the silence around me now too loud. My breathing is shallow, my grip on the phone so tight, my knuckles ache. The door downstairs remains wide open, letting in the cold night air. Outside, the figure I saw earlier is gone, or maybe I only thought I saw it. My chest tightens as the shadows around me seem to shift, and for the first time, I feel trapped. I take a slow step forward, my bare foot pressing into the creaking wood of the floor. The sound echoes like a gunshot in the quiet. I grip the railing as I descend, every muscle tense. The phone in my hand flickers again, but I don't want to look. I can't bear to see what new horror might be waiting for me on the screen. Halfway down, I pause. Something's wrong. The air feels colder here, heavier, like the house itself is holding its breath. My ears strain for any sound. A voice, a creak, the rustle of leaves outside, but all I hear is my heart pounding in my ears. I take another step, and then another, my eyes fixed on the open doorway below. As I reach the bottom, my phone buzzes again, and this time, the sound is different. A low hum, faint but unmistakable. My instincts scream at me to ignore it, to drop the phone and run, but my curiosity gets the better of me. I glance down. The screen is black now, except for a single photo slowly coming into focus. It's me, standing exactly where I am. But in the photo, I'm not alone. There's a blur in the background, something tall, impossibly thin, and watching me. Its face is obscured, but the longer I look, the more I think I see movement in the photo. Not just movement, I swear it's breathing. Then, faintly, I hear it, whispering. Not from the house, but from the phone itself. It's not a language I recognize, but it's rhythmic, almost like chanting. My pulse quickens, and without thinking, I press the power button, hoping to shut it off. The screen doesn't respond. The whispers grow louder, and I feel an overwhelming urge to fling the phone across the room. But my hand refuses to let go. "Leave now," the phone says suddenly in a voice that isn't mine. The screen goes completely black. I stagger back, nearly tripping over the rug. My foot brushes against something. A draft coming from the basement door. It's cracked open just enough to reveal a sliver of darkness. My stomach churns. I don't remember opening that door. I don't even remember going near it. I force myself to move. My hands are clammy as I push the front door closed, locking it with trembling fingers. But as I turn back toward the room, my eyes drift to the window. The barn outside is barely visible in the faint moonlight, but something about it catches my attention. The doors are open, swinging slightly in the wind. They were closed earlier. I know they were. And then I see it, a figure standing just inside the barn, unmoving, watching the house. I blink, and it's gone. I stagger back, my breath coming in short gasps. I tell myself it's nothing, just my eyes playing tricks on me, but deep down, I know that's not true. The barn was always a place I avoided as a kid, even during the day. There was something about it that made my skin crawl. And now, in the dead of night, it feels like it's calling to me. The basement door creaks open wider, and I spin around, heart hammering. I grip the railing of the stairs, unsure if I should run back up or push forward. The air from the basement is ice cold now, and it smells faintly of earth and something metallic. I inch closer, peering into the darkness below. My phone's flashlight barely penetrates the gloom, but I see the outline of the old wooden steps leading down. Something moves. It's subtle, just a faint shift of shadows at the edge of the light, but it's enough to send me stumbling backward. And then from the darkness comes a sound, a slow, deliberate knock. Once, twice, 3 times, each one louder than the last. "Who's there?" I call out, my voice shaking. No response, just the steady knock, now coming faster, more frantic. It echoes up the stairwell, growing louder until it suddenly stops. The silence that follows is worse. I can feel something watching me, something just out of sight. My hands tremble as I reach for the doorknob, intending to slam the basement door shut. But before I can, a voice whispers from below, "Don't close it." I freeze, the words chilling me to my core. They're soft, almost pleading, but there's something off about them. They sound close, too close. The lights in the house flicker violently, and for a split second, I see something at the bottom of the stairs. A face, hollow eyes, grinning. I scream, slamming the door shut and locking it. My breath comes in ragged gasps as I press my back against the door, trying to steady myself, but the knocking starts again. This time, louder, harder. The door rattles against my weight, and I know whatever's on the other side won't stop until it gets in. I run to the front door, unlocking it in a frenzy, but as I pull it open, I stop dead in my tracks. The figure from the barn is now standing in the yard, closer than before. Its head tilts slightly as though it's studying me. Behind it, the shadows seem to ripple and move, growing larger, darker. The figure in the yard steps closer, and my body acts on instinct. I rush back into the house, slamming the front door shut and locking it again. The barn stands in the distance, its doors shut tight now, as if mocking me. In the grass, I notice footprints, bare, human-like, but too large to belong to anyone I know. They lead away from the house and disappear into the woods beyond. It all feels like a bad dream, but the bruises on my body and the claw marks on my shoulder are real. I try to convince myself it's just stress or exhaustion, but deep down, I know the truth. Something happened in that house. Why did it let me leave the house alive? What would have happened if I hadn't run from the basement? I can't shake the feeling that I didn't escape. Not really. My phone still acts strangely, buzzing at odd hours and refusing to hold a charge. Twice now, I've woken up to find photos on it. Pictures of me, taken while I was sleeping. But the scariest part is the sound. Late at night, when everything is quiet, I sometimes hear faint whispers coming from the phone. Words I can't quite make out, but one thing is clear. They know my name.